Everyone. Hope we're all having a great day so far. We're just going to have a brief presentation covering a few of our goals for you, our managerial team, as you navigate your way through this busy season. So I have met a few of you, but I see we have some new faces. Before we get started, I guess I'll start with a brief introduction about myself. I have been the Human Resources Vice President for about 2 years now, working my way up from a packing distributor to a sector supervisor, and then I transferred to the Human Resources Department nearly 4 years ago and eventually found myself here. My tenure at the company surely wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for management cultivating a growth environment and encouraging a safe workspace where I felt I could be the tools I needed to reach my larger opportunities. So hopefully, by the end of this presentation, we're all going to feel a bit more confident and educated enough to be providing such opportunities for others. As our current and new managerial team, you probably have a good idea of what we do here at PT Team, but let's just do a brief breakdown of who we are. We are the largest distributor of fruit pitting and jam tools. In order to maintain our success, currently we have a team of 500 employees. So as our managers, you will each be overseeing an individual task force of 3 supervisors who will each have 30 to 35 employees on their team. Seeing as our business has been on the up and up for the past 6 years, we do have plans on expanding to Florida in the next few years. So if you have any aspirations of relocating and becoming part of our startup there, feel free to schedule a meetup with me after the presentation, and I would love to discuss that with you. Alrighty, so on to the basics of assurances we need to be providing our employees. Among the most essential and acting as the foundation for labor rights laws, we have Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. This protects workers from nearly all forms of discrimination, such as sex, race, nationality, and religion. This relates to the bigger umbrella of equal employment opportunity laws, where women, people of color, those with disabilities will be free of discrimination in the workforce, with all the workers given the same opportunities, both in the hiring process and promotion trajectory in the company. As you may all be aware of, we are implementing an affirmative action plan as we continue to expand our numbers, prioritizing protected groups in our hiring. Our new application survey has had successful trials of not favoring any one particular hiring group, so we're all very excited for our more inclusive future. With this in mind, we are striving for a welcoming atmosphere for everyone and will not be tolerating discrimination of any kind, including harassment and retaliation. So we do recommend just being conscious of our actions and develop relationships with everyone on your team to avoid such potential issues. On to our employees with disabilities. The Americans with Disabilities Act ensures fair treatment and reasonable accommodation for those with a disability. Though our current job description for the warehouse does include weightlifting criteria, we are more than happy to attempt to accommodate in different circumstances. For example, providing free weightlifting back braces to all employees to help prevent excessive strain and injury, or relocation to lighter lifting stations, or the possibility of transfer to the itinerary department. If an employee comes up to you with a concern, try to work out a solution that fits everyone's needs. Don't be afraid to be creative and just be willing to hear them out, because at the end of the day, they want job security, we need workers, and it's a healthy mutual relationship. Safety in the workplace. We do have heavy machinery and products that pose potential threats. The Occupational Safety and Health Act ensures the rights to a hazard-free or limited hazard workplace. As per our last OSHA audit, we were reminded that as a preventative measure, we should be encouraged to have safety refreshers on the machinery and best ways to lift the heavy materials. So we will be mandating a safety refresher at the beginning of every quarter, where you each will be heading a presentation alongside a certified safety instructor, which will include a physical demonstration requiring all employees to be signed off in order to continue their positions. In addition, you will all be performing random safety audits, which won't negatively impact workers if corrections need to be made, but it will give an opportunity to correct it and remind everyone about the healthiest practices that we can be making in order to avoid injury. Alrighty, so next we are going to be discussing the benefits we offer to our employees. In compliance with the Equal Pay Act, starting wages shall be the same for all warehouse employees at $22 an hour. In accordance with the Wages and the Fair Labor Standards Act, the wages are above both the federal and state minimum requirement, and we will provide time and a half pay for any overtime accrued during the work week. We have about 400 full-time workers, all of whom are entitled to health insurance and retirement. What we must do for them is provide them with information for access and education on those benefits. In compliance with ERISA, we will offer a meeting every quarter detailing plan features and funding information. For all employees, we have begun offering a complimentary gym membership as part of our health and wellness initiative, as well as 5 free sessions with a mental health professional for both the employee and the direct family. We are open to additional moderate cost benefits. So if you would like to ask your teams what they would potentially like to see, you're encouraged to set up those discussions. As an incentive, performance bonuses are awarded at the end of each quarter as well. So a friendly reminder to your teams go a long way in the efficiency of work. Alrighty, next up, we have employee leave. So in the short term, employees are given a baseline of 24 hours of paid sick time in a year, but accrue 1 hour every 30 hours worked. For leave due to death of a relative, workers are allotted up to 5 days of unpaid time. For longer periods, employees are able to request the use of their Family Medical Leave Act rights. Under this, our employees, after at least 1 year in their tenure here, are entitled to up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave that can be combined with PTO for any of the following reasons. So this could be birth or caretaking of a child, care for a relative or self with a debilitating medical condition, or care for a relative in the military, or in some cases, one that is deploying for the military. Just keep in mind that if it's in regards to a military leave, the employee is actually entitled up to 26 weeks of leave. So employees are also entitled to a leave with a physician's note if it's due to an on-site injury. Employee medical attention will be paid for by us, but again, we do expect this to be few and far between as safety is so critical for us. And with our safety refreshes and audits, we hope to minimize these as much as possible. Alrighty, union. So as you may already be aware of, our employees are represented by the AFL-CIO union. Though sometimes the relationship with employers and unions are strained, we try to be as cordial and cooperative with our union as possible. By maintaining a cognizant atmosphere of transparency and encouragement, our employees seemingly tend to not utilize the union often, not to say that we're discouraging participation in any way. In accordance with the National Labor Relations Act, we are unable to hinder any act of our employees to participate with the union, and we shall allow them to bargain for what they deem fit. It is up to both us and the union to hold each other accountable, making sure neither coerce or restrain the employees from any of their rights, which, as we have not had any incidents in the past, seems like we're doing a good job of at the moment. Be aware that the representative is expected to communicate with us regarding meetings, and we can assist them in notifying the employees about it. We want to provide them with easy access to their representative and encourage communication to help provide a safe working space physically and emotionally, which in turn promotes productivity and satisfaction. Alrighty, general reminders for us as we move forward. We as management need to ensure a safe and healthy environment for our staff in all ways. We will not be tolerating harassment, discrimination, or threats of hate crime to our employees. As a way to ensure such an environment, promote communication between your teams. It's easy to get stuck in patterns of simply looking at numbers and production, but what it comes down to is the well-being of our hard workers. So make sure that they are doing well, and if we can make any changes, aid them in that. Keep in mind that our warehouse workers can be our future managers as well. So cultivating a learning and growth environment that takes their employment rights and security into consideration is key. Alrighty, well, that about does it for my presentation. As always, please look out for yourselves as well as the regular employees, as we couldn't do any of this without you, our flexible and responsible management team. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thank you for all of your time and effort, and please have a great